Hey everyone, welcome back to another powerful episode of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. So, dear listeners, before we delve deep into the discussion and I introduce you with our lovely guest today, before we begin, a quick note for all of you. This episode contains the discussions which is related to the domestic violence, narcissistic abuse, trauma, and also the emotional manipulation. So, some parts may be difficult to hear. Please listen with care, step away if you need to, and reach out for the support. Don't forget, and if anything we discuss feels overwhelming. So, because your well being is what matters the most. So, here we are today, dear listeners, on Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. And today we are discussing on some great topic, the messy magic of being a woman, like wellness, work, and I'd say what no one talks about. So, we'll delve deep into it. So we live in a world that often tells a woman to choose. Be perfect or be broken. Be strong or be silent. Be professional or be personal. But life doesn't fit into those neat categories, right? So real life is messy. And yet, in that mess, there is a magic, courage, resilience, rebirth. And my guest today is someone who embodies that truth with extraordinary depth. So please welcome Dr. Anindya Siddhartha. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
It's close and strong. We have been talking. Yeah.
Lovely. So, dear listeners, as you know, I introduce you with our lovely guest. So today I would love to introduce you with Dr. Anindya. So Dr. Anindya is a psychiatrist, an advocate, and an award-winning mental health leader. But more than the titles, she is a survivor, a woman who has worked through the unimaginable personal traumas and found her voice again, not only for herself, but for the countless others. Yes. So, we'll not take much of your time, dear listeners. We'll listen from Dr. Anindya. And welcome to the show, Dr. Anindya. And thank you so much for being here and for bringing both this conversation together. So, welcome again.
First of all, the line I love, the messy and magical. It is like my favorite quote every time I say, embrace the glorious mess as you are. That is from Elizabeth Gilbert's novel, Eat, Pray, Love. That was a novel which anyways helped me go through my first divorce. Embrace the glorious mess as you are. I always say that. Nobody can be perfect. And this trying to fit into normal and the perfection is causing the problems. So I believe to embrace your flaws and just enjoy them. Yeah.
Exactly. Totally agree. And so when we're talking about, like, I started about the society, right? So, very often, like, society expects to be either, for a woman, like, to be either perfectly put together or completely broken down. So, rarely do we talk about the messy middle. The place where the healing, work, and heartbreak all collide. So, on that, like, what has living in that messy middle taught you about being a woman today?
So, first of all, definitely society has put a lot of pressure on being a woman. If a woman shouts or if a woman is assertive, she's labeled as loud. If a woman is laughing loudly, she's labeled as maniac. But all those things boys can do normally. If a woman is drinking, she's labeled as characterless, which is not. How can alcohol harm the woman's character and the boy's liver? So it will harm the girl's liver only. The society has put in a lot of boxes. I don't think we should listen. That society has this thing like क्या कहेंगे लोग सबसे बड़ा रोग. I believe that now. And definitely my life has been the messy or is like the map of my life is only a messy. I always say it can be a Bollywood drama full. It is full of everything, the suspense, the magic, the charming, and the love bombing, and the Shah Rukh Khan's love also, and Ranbir Kapoor's animal movies, Ranbir Kapoor also. So it's from that, ranging from there to that. And yeah, doing this messy middle has been like, it's difficult because at times, not about the society, but I had my parents, like that they will feel bad. So from hiding from them was a thing, but not about the society. I never thought because my father never told us to think about the society. He has raised us very well and he has always raised us to be confident enough and educated us. And my sister is also a psychiatrist. And I think in our family, not only we two, we all are daughters mostly, and everyone is well. independent and everyone is confident. But just like pain in the parent's eyes, that is not seen. So for that, sometimes like things are hidden. So that was a difficult part to
That's so.
hide from my parents at times. But I knew they will be very supportive and they were supportive.
Mhm.
It was like not even a second I stayed in the abusive marriages. But I know many people, they believe like divorce is a stigma. And
Mm.
a divorced daughter is much better than a daughter who is dead or a dying baby there. So you should accept the divorce. And anyways, nowadays divorce has become like a marriage as an institution has failed. It has no, I don't think it is sacred now anymore. People are living in there are new trends coming up, living together apart. I can't understand that trend. If you are married and then you are staying in different cities and saying you are happy, for me the marriage meant to be together and to be in a household. So now anyways, with the swipe and all these things are changing, and definitely, and owning your, everybody wants to marry a CEO, everyone wants to marry a good like psychiatrist, my in-laws wanted, or everybody wants a label for like their daughter-in-law is very earning well, is very educated, but then after going there they forget that and they want her to be the housemaid, which is how it can be expected. So it's not, I'm not denying that household work is not my responsibility, but it should be divided. It cannot be like everything cannot be given to you except expectations can't be fulfilled. So like, and the another favorite quote which comes like, whole generation kept on empowering the women, but forgot to teach men how to live with the empowered women. They still believe like a woman should be like getting up in the morning before them men, making breakfast, giving them garam fulkas and all. That cannot be true in this world. If a girl is also doing the night duty, how is it possible? Even in corporate sectors, people have night jobs. So how is it possible that a girl gets up in the morning and does everything the way housewives used to do? So you have to choose either this or that, but nobody wants to marry a housewife. Everybody wants to marry a CEO, but nobody. So they should make that girl a CEO of the house also then.
Agree. Agree. Definitely agree. Yes, I mean, these differences are there definitely. I totally agree on this. Uh, I say this also. It differs people to people as well. I mean, about the thinking about how they go ahead with that thought process. Uh, I agree what you
But
mentioned.
now
So,
I believe it has nothing to do with the education, nothing to do with the merit, your financial
mm,
status, your reputation in the society, and how educated the family is. It doesn't matter at all because where I have been with the most intelligent people and the most educated and the thinking, I'm amazed at all that things. That how can people think so backward still being so
mm,
educated? So at times I believe that education is just the degree. It's of
yeah,
no use until you don't know how to treat a human being. So I,
that is much
first of
important.
all, there isn't actually, people ask me as a psychiatrist, they ask me how much time we should spend together before getting married. So I don't have answer for that also, because I used to write premarital counseling articles. I used to do that also. But after marriage, things change. So I believe you can get to know a person truly only either you travel together, or that also
Mm,
is not particular. More particular is once you deny something to the someone, like I am
mm,
denied something that not to do this, then how I react, that is the thing I will get to know. But for few hours during the courtship period, everyone can fake. And another thing is like that education, and also you have to see how they are treating the person below them, who in power, in money, and everything. That is the
exactly.
person. Person is
Mm.
shouting at the waiter, then and you in a five-star. That is first sign, I guess, the red flag sign.
I totally agree. I mean, I definitely why I mentioned like this because I totally agree on this because first, human behavior should be uh, at the core because I mean, irrespective of the titles, irrespective of the money you have, irrespective of anything that you have, like or you have earned, how the person you are from inside that actually reflects everything. Because as a human being, I'd love to take that example only, which you have mentioned about a waiter. I'll not take the name, but I definitely love to share the instance which I seen. A lot of times I have seen, which is not good. We know that we went to suppose a five-star restaurant. We have the capability to spend suppose $6,000 for a dinner. The waiter over there, or maybe the restaurant support team who are there, who are actually arranging that food for that which we paying. I mean, it's not their curse, or it's not their. I mean, what I say, it's not their fate that they are doing that job as a waiter, and it's a very low paid job. That is a separate part, but it's at the end they are also a human being. And the incident which I was mentioning about, like, one family was there, and when we call a waiter, how should we call? How should we call a waiter? They are also human being, right? Remove that title as a waiter. We shall not call someone like
Yeah.
this, right? We shall always call like, please come, or like, take my order, right? So these are some gestures which actually proves or help someone to understand like how that person from inside is, whether you are taking that right decision or not. So these are very small things, but I would say before marriage or any decision that we're
Yes.
taking to stay together, these are something which are very important, which actually help you understand about that person. So irrespective of the gender, but that is also, thanks for bringing that
The
example.
not incidents. It's like I have actually seen and lived with people who have I have never seen so much of money in the life also with the amount of
Mhm.
money I saw there. But they will not allow maids and even the students, they will not allow to switch on the fan in Rajasthan. Imagine
Mhm.
how can a maid cook 40 chapatis without fan,
Yeah,
eat food without fan? So I was amazed at all these things that how is it possible? It's inhuman. Like, I don't know. I can't imagine in my life. Like, I was
exactly.
shocked. Like, it used to be like every day new shock. Like, how is it possible?
Mm. No, I totally agree. Definitely, definitely, and that's really powerful, because many listeners right now who are listening, or maybe you will be listening, or who are probably sitting in that same messy middle. I'd say what you have shared actually reminds us that imperfection doesn't disqualify us. Like I was also mentioning about, titles doesn't justify us as a human. It actually what actually is it, it actually humanizes us. That's very, very true. That's very true.
And
Yeah,
labels are for jars. Now,
exactly, exactly. And from your story, not just the emotional pain, but about the profound physical trauma, like abuse, miscarriages. So how do you see the connection between our bodies and the minds at the and also about the unspoken scars that the woman carry?
so, first of all, as a psychiatrist, I believe mind and body are married. One suffers, the other
Huh.
sympathizes. So, definitely they are connected to each other. One cannot be, for example, if a dog chases you, you get the beat
Yeah.
fast. Why? The fear was in the mind, but heartbeat became fast. So, body and mind are connected. And definitely through the
Ex-
IVF cycles, reproductive, and along with that, the black eye and the traumas, all that
Mm.
trauma is also very painful. I believe emotional abuse is much more painful than the physical abuse. And the emotional abuse, but for the emotional abuse, also the body keeps the score. At times, one starts after many people who have that traumatic survivors, they start with this fever or the body aches, anxiety, and multiple somatic complaints because of the emotional abuse which is needed to them. So in my recent visit only to Kashmir, actually I was very skeptical. Like I should not go because
Right.
recently I got divorced and it's the most romantic place supposed to be. And I am the most hopeless romantic person. So, but I got fever and all, and I thought maybe it's like because it's the part of a grief, like my body in
Mhm.
that way that I am so lethargic. I'm having so much of body ache the way I had in the dengue time. And because otherwise
Mhm.
fever was not there much. So then I just thought maybe it's like there is a book, very nice book, The Body Keeps the Score. And it
Okay.
explains the way which part of body reacts in which kind of emotion. That is a very nice book. So
Mhm.
and also hormonal changes in a woman's life. It is like a woman can never
Exactly.
tell how when she's hormonally sad, situationally sad, or seasonally sad. So because 28-day cycle, more than that, then reproductive is definitely, and IVF is a major, like one injection and whole emotions are on a roller coaster ride. You don't know next. One day you are singing Aaj Main Upar Aasman Niche, and next day you are just like, oh my God, kya ho gaya? And it's a very difficult journey. And when you don't have the support, that's very difficult. And emotionally, above all, if you have physical abuse also along with that, that becomes unbearable. That, and then you think like, why are you even getting it done? So it's like a guilt feeling also comes later on, and so that healing is difficult process. It takes time. I don't say like anybody can be healed fully. Like full healing, you cannot forget the things. Your body and your mind will always remember what you have gone through. But yes, you move on without getting affected with that. Lessons learned, but not getting affected with that. And also, grief is also the price of we pay for love. So, anyways, I have taken it as like it is now my part of my lifelong journey. That grief is going to be the part of it. Maybe at times some good memories come. That also I cherish, but that is the part of life now. But I have moved on in my life. Definitely, I am working professionally, and I've got a purpose because I don't want even a single woman to suffer from a gender-based violence. I've got this purpose, and I'm trying my best, and I will do whatever I can do to raise awareness, to help them to keep pro bono counseling or whatever is possible. But I know many educated, I still say, even if you read my story, nobody will say that I am blessed and grateful. But I still feel I am very lucky, blessed and grateful because I have support network. That my recent article poem was also published behind code. Like my female friends are very, very supportive. My parents, sister, my cousins, everyone has been very supportive. So, and I get is only not supporting them and are cause society, thinking about the society. So even educated family. And I get like your it's like not only women suffer, even men when they are suffering in marriages and anytime family is not supported because there is a lot of stigma.
Definitely, I totally agree. And also in the same, like, do you believe that the medical system and the public health are truly ready to integrate that kind of emotional literacy into uh, care, or are we just still treating women's pain as a kind of secondary part of it?
So now the theme has come, WHO theme was to put mental health in center of the public health. So make it like now in Indian Psychiatric Society is making full efforts to do that, to make mental accessible to everyone. So telemedicine has been launched, and recently Indian Psychiatric Society Secretary Dr. Amrit Joshi even gave the talk for global consortium in 70 countries in leave no one behind and to put mental health in the center of the public health. So how it can be done. But the thing is, we have a lot of resources, but the sensitivity is not there. Actually, even in psychiatrist clinic, people go with fear. The stigma is there. So the destigmatization, normalization of talking about mental health. So the Dear Zindagi movie, Shah Rukh Khan did it very well. That कि अगर फ्रैक्चर हुआ है तो तुम्हारी बॉडी का पार्ट है, तो तुम ब्रेन को अपनी बॉडी का पार्ट नहीं मानते. No one can explain so well, and I think that is the thing. And conversations around mental health, around menstruation, around sexual health, all these should be normalized.
I agree. Such a great example about Dear Zindagi. I mean, it actually
example, I think, podcast and my life lessons are also from Dear Zindagi, I guess.
It has a lot of lessons to learn from that movie, and thank you for bringing that. Yeah. I mean, I hear the frustration. I mean, and also it feels like a kind of necessary tension. Like, and we celebrate the advances in psychiatry and medicine, yet often miss the lived experiences, maybe I'd say the lived realities that the women are suffering. And what are you pointing to it call for kind of radical shift, not just a treatment, but in how society's values women voices. So that's very, very important, I'd say.
Now people are coming up with a lived experience. There are conferences, Mirjaville symposium in which lived experiences were shared. And when one shares lived experience, causes, it helps in developing empathy. Empathy develops in other people, and it helps in breaking the silence. So it's important. And also, there are survivor-led approaches, which the gender-based violence survivors, they start approach the treatment path, and they are much more better traumatic people in trauma-informed care as compared to a qualified psychiatrist also at times, because of the compassion they have, the empathy, the understanding they have. Many, as a mental health professional, even I didn't have that much compassion, or that, not compassion I say, but intrigue, like to ask about it, gender-based violence. But now when I see something fishy, I ask. And even the sexual practice, I have started asking, like when someone is coming from multiple somatic complaints, then I ask. So sometimes in a 2 sessions only, it comes out like there is an infidelity. So it's like sensitivity is necessary. So I was not that like keen on those things until I got to study all those. So I did my fellowship and I deal with all the taboo topics. I believe mental health. Then I got into sexual health. Then I LGBTQ advocacy, and now gender-based violence. All these are domestic violence. Nobody talks about until it happens to celebrities and others.
Yeah, I agree. And so we'll also talk about some of the points, like which I believe this also very important, like redefining the masculinity. And you have had also worked on reframing it, not as a theory, but also from the lived perspective of a survivor, right? So from that perspective, do you believe that healthy masculinity could look like if it were rebuilt on a kind of vulnerability or maybe healing justice or the rational strength?
Healthy masculinity is a vulnerability. First of all, is not weakness. Vulnerability is strength. I always say embrace your vulnerability. This is the thing which has been taught wrong to our men. Pain, depression, anxiety, they have no gender. Feelings have no gender. Everybody has the feelings. Same pain they've also experienced. The suicide rate attempts are maybe higher in women, but when the successful suicide, if you see the statistics, that is higher in men, because they do it planned way and they don't tell anybody, and they go to the like at the level is severe, they don't take help. And even male friends also don't talk to each other about yeah, whatever problem is happening. And female friends, they pick up the phone and they're just starting, oh my, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya, which is important. Venting out, that is a part of catharsis. It helps out in most of the time. What happens, some thoughts go and pain also decreases when you share your feelings. But we are supposed to not, told not to be doing that, the stoicism which comes. But I believe that that is the toxic masculinity, and it is the thing which is harming men more, not only women. And that's why I always urge media, even during a ramp walk in Mumbai, I asked Mahesh Bhatt and Pooja Bhatt ma'am to please bring back our chocolate boys so that they start mimicking the chocolate boys. Nowadays, boys and girls, they are watching Kabir Singh and the Pushpa, Jhuke Nahi Sala and all, and they are mimicking that. And not only men, women also. When I saw Kabir Singh, I was like, oh my God, aisa ladka mil jata kya. But we don't know now how what will happen when he comes. So that is the glamorization of this toxic masculinity should be stopped by the media, because these days kids are being raised by the digital media, not by the parents, teachers. That is the big question, first of all. Like, who is raising our kids? Even, and everyone is affected by the media. So I have this strong belief that storytelling, cinema, media has a power to do that. And I saw your one uh, podcast also with Manny Bynes, who believes in this, that his movies are to social impact, to bring the social impact. The movies should be used. And that's actually true. And even the podcast, I believe they are the biggest change makers these days. They are bringing the stories of people. And I myself got the courage by listening to a story on a podcast that if she can move out of the marriage, why can't I? And the movie Thappad, that was very not, and the subtle abuse which was seen in Mrs. That was like, it was too glamorized because of the feminism which is taken a wrong turn. But more than that, people should have talked about the Kabir animal and Pushpa instead of the Miss movie that is there. And healthy masculinity, it means the mutual trust, the respect. It is not about you are bending down. And I believe if a boy is helping you in household work, then a girl should be financially literate because responsibility should be shared. It cannot be all the responsibility to be taken by a man because a man is also taking care of everything. And along with that, if you say take care of household work also, that is not fair. And so it should be either you also become financially literate and divide the responsibility. Well, despite going through all the bad phases of my life, I don't believe men don't suffer. I believe men also suffer a lot. I have seen many people suffering, friends suffering. So, and then they resort to alcohol, cannabis to resolve that depression because they are not able to talk about the emotions.
Exactly.
Talk about emotions, and men can cry, I always say. And I always say, please bring back the Shah Rukh Khan and the Chocolate Boys back.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah. And like,
Saif Ali Khan and Hum Tum. It was so different. And then
exactly.
see some other recent movie, Ravan, I guess that was the different.
That was a bit different, yeah.
Ranbir Kapoor, Ajab Prem Ki Gajab Kahan, that was a different perspective. Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, all those things, they were so friendly. Tamasha, Tamasha is a very nice movie. But in Animal, though, yeah, I don't say it was a bad movie. Movie was really good. It also had a hidden messages that how childhood neglect can lead to such aggressive behavior.
Exactly.
That the message was actually the childhood neglect and the mistreatment by his father that led to his aggressive behavior. But that masculinity toxic that is being taken over by the kids, which is not.
True, definitely. That also a great part about that. So, and like, I mean, and if you are sitting across kind of from a young man right now, maybe someone who is about to marry or step into fatherhood. So, according to you, like, what's the one truth you would want them to carry with him about the power and the partnership?
Again, can you say?
So, I mean, suppose someone is listening right now, right? Or maybe that person about to get married or becoming a father, right? So, what one truth you'd like to tell them?
Just getting married, I will say don't get married. Marriage is the biggest gamble on earth. No, but I have seen many happy marriages also. So I will say take it as one day at a time and respect each other. Love fades with time. Love, and but if you have mutual respect and trust, it doesn't fade. The relationship works on that, not on the love and the charm and the romance. That will definitely fade away. So it is equal mutual respect and trust. That is the trust is the main thing which is going to build the relationship. And someone who is going to become a father, that is definitely is going to be a beautiful feeling. And yes, you also have equal role in taking care of a child. And child is going to model you more as compared to the mother. And also it has been seen because like daughters are very close to father, which I have seen. I am myself like very because fathers come home very for a short time period. Also, in boys, there is a learned behavior that he has to become like his father. So, if the marriage is unhappy, if aggression happens in front of the child, that is very bad. So, you have to just now be conscious that whatever you are doing is giving an impression to the child. So, don't do those things in front of the child. So, that is the.
Yeah. And one more advice for all the listeners going further then that they should follow or they should take care of anything.
To love themselves first, love yourself first, everything else will fall into the place and trust the universe. Like with the time, it will pass. You can rebuild your life as many times. So I think in that that you can rebuild your life as many times as possible, and I take it as a one day at a time.
That's definitely a great advice, I would say. And Dr. Aninda, I mean, your story is one of the, I'd say, pain, yes, but more than that, it's a story of the kind of persistence. I have to say, like, you have shown us the resilience is not about, or it's not about never breaking, but it's also about rebuilding again, 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 with honesty and compassion for sure. So, for all the listeners who are listening, or maybe you will be listening, if you have ever felt silenced or maybe small or shamed, then let this be your reminder that you're not alone. As I guess all of you have listened to my shows where I always mention, like, you are not alone. Just forget about that thinking. And the messy magic of being a woman is not about the perfection, it's also about the courage to keep showing up even when the world tries to write you
Don't
off.
shrink yourself when the world tries to do that. Well behaved women seldom make history. Be courageous and be powerful. Anyways, women are in power now, not empowered. So, and yes,
Definitely.
definitely healing and resilience is not about not breaking down at all. I break down now also at times while driving the car. I start crying. And after 20 minutes, I will go to work and then I have to be fine. And then I become fine and things go on because I say this grief is never going to go away. It is the part of the life. It will take time,
True,
definitely. So you have to
true.
accept that. But moving on is like for forgiveness is a gift for yourself. Forgive them whatever they have
Mhm.
done, and forgiveness frees you from the anger and from the bitterness. But don't forget the lessons they taught you. So that
Correct.
is there, and definitely breaking down is a part of it. It's not like I don't break down and I'm resilient or strong. It's a normal part. I am too. If you don't, I say like if you are human being, if you are feeling pain, you are alive if you are having pain, but you are feeling
Mhm.
if you are feeling other person's pain. So compassion and empathy. Everyone is going through the battle. So be
Yeah,
kind because you never know what people are hiding behind the smile.
exactly. Very well said. Yes, yes. And so, dear listeners, if today's conversation has stirred something in you, then please share this episode, talk about it with someone that you trust, and most importantly, take one small step towards your own healing. And if you or someone you know who is experiencing the abuse, please reach out for the help. And maybe you are in India or you are in US or any other country, you will find the helpline numbers. Do reach out to them and definitely will get the help. So never sit idle and wait for something to settle down, but to reach out for the help. And for all the listeners around the world, please check your local hotlines. As I mentioned, help is out there, and you do not have to suffer in silence. So that's much important. And with this hope, this is your host Abhik, and you have been listening to Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. Until next time, stay brave, stay open, and stay true to yourself. Thank you so much.